Hello guys! Welcome back to our channel. This is Jackie, your accountant on duty, who will discuss one of the special features of the ease of paying taxes of the BIR, how it affects individual and non-individual taxpayer, so please stay tuned until we finish the discussion. One of the well-known changes brought by EOPT Law is the new invoicing requirement. This act simplified VAT invoicing by standardizing sales of goods and services. This move not only reduces confusion but also streamlines the process for businesses, making it easier to comply with tax regulations. Prior to EOPT, the main supporting documents for the sales of goods is an invoice, whereas upon rendering and collecting service fees is the so-called OR or official receipt. You need to have the separate documents for your transaction to be valid for claiming input VAT. Isa to sa mga reason why BIR simplifies the document needed to claim tax, na malilito yung taxpayer kung OR or invoice ang hihingin sa isang supplier. Pag kumain sa resto, sa fast food, pag bumili sa mall or any establishment, and that's invoice for both VAT and non-VAT taxpayer. Under the EOPT law, invoice now the primary document supporting sales of goods and services. But taxpayer is not precluded from issuing supplementary document other than the sales invoice. This includes official receipt, delivery receipt, billing statement, statement of account, and others. But for the purpose of VAT, these supplementary documents are not valid proof of transactions. Invoice may include other descriptor words such as service, sales, commercial, billing, and others. Here are the guidelines in issuing an invoice. Number 1, invoice may include added descriptor words such as service, sales, commercial, cash, and miscellaneous invoice. Second, invoice is the main evidence for the sales of goods and services. At the same time, it can serve as acknowledgement of money or payment received for goods and services. Next, presented here are the information required on the face of an invoice. First, the seller's information, title of the invoice, date of transaction, buyer's details, serial numbers, quantity, unit cost, description of goods and services, total amount of sale with VAT shown separately, breakdown of sales, if VATable, zero-rated, VAT-exempt, or sales to government. Transaction with senior citizen, PWD, or solo parent, it should include the following: the ID number, discount availed, and their signature. The bottom part of the invoice, it should show the following: the ATP serial number, permit number, the date of issuance, and the approved serial number. Number 4, 4 tickets issued for transportation, parking, amusement, cinema, and others will be considered as the main document for sales of services, provided that the word invoice is indicated on its face and contains all the relevant information based on this act. Then, in terms of threshold amount on the issuance, rules are as follows. Prior to EOPT, the seller is required to issue an invoice or OR for every 100 pesos single transaction. And under the EOPT law, ceiling amount are as follows. For VAT registered seller, issuance will be regardless of the amount of transaction. They are mandatory to issue invoice for every single sales. And for the non-VAT, issuance shall be for every 500 single transaction. And for their sale below 500 pesos, seller should issue a single invoice for the aggregate amount at the end of the day. To note, the 500 pesos will be subjected to adjustment for every year using the Consumer Price Index. For those taxpayer who is not a VAT registered and erroneously issued the VAT invoice, they will be liable to pay the VAT without the benefit of any input tax credit. Plus, they will be assessed with 50% surcharge. they will also need to pay the liability of the percentage tax. As a part of the VAT registered buyer, they can still claim the input VAT as long as the requirement for the VAT issuance are met. In other words, kapag ikaw ay isang non-VAT supplier, accidentally issued a VAT registered invoice, liable ka to pay the VAT, percentage, and 50% surcharge. A common question encountered by the taxpayer is that, what will now happen with their unused ORs? Ano yung pwede nilang gawin? Magagamit pa ba nila? Or a total loss on the part of the taxpayer? Since the intention of EOPT law is to provide fair tax policies, the BIR issued a certain memorandum to address these issues. The option is that to consider these unused booklets to be as a supplementary document. During the transitionary period, all unused or unissued official receipt may still be used as a supplementary document until fully consumed, provided that the phrase, "This document is not valid for claim of input tax," is indicated on its face. This will only serve as a proof of payment that cash has been received or that payment has been collected for the particular goods and services. Shown here is the sample. The second option for the taxpayer is to convert the OR booklets to invoice. Taxpayer shall be allowed to strike through the word official receipt on the face and stamp the word invoice. These can be issued as the primary invoice to a buyer or purchaser until fully consumed, provided it also indicates the other required information for an invoice. Another requirement for this converted OR to invoice is that the taxpayer should be compliant on the requirement to submit inventory of booklets of converted OR within the allowed time frame. For everyone's reference, this is the sample of inventory list required for submission. Conversely, for CRM and POS, they are required to configure the system on or before December 31, 2024. Any extension will be subject for approval. The penalty for non-compliance for the invoicing requirement are as follows: 1,000 pesos but not more than 50,000, and imprisonment of less than 2 years but not more than 4 years. The EOPT Act is a positive shift toward a more efficient and tax-friendly tax environment. Businesses that embrace its provision and stay informed will be better positioned to drive into an evolving tax landscape. While its supporting documents really play a pivotal role in the Philippine tax system, claim of tax deduction may be disallowed by the BIR if you are not compliant with the requirements. The solution offers by EOPT not only diminishes ambiguity but also simplifies procedures for businesses, which will facilitate easier compliance with the new regulations. If you are not confident on implementing the new rules, best to engage professionals to be compliant to maximize the solution brought by the EOPT. If you have some questions and clarification, please feel free to leave your comments below so we can address as soon as we can. Please also hit the subscribe and hit button to be updated from our video releasing. Thank you for watching!